Guys, I want to talk to you today about the concept of accepting reality. And I think one of the people that I've read throughout history who I think had the hardest time of accepting reality, but got himself to do it, was a guy called Rudolf Verber, who was one of the first people to escape from Auschwitz and one of only less than 10 people who escaped from that concentration camp. And Verber, when he first got to Auschwitz, he was one of the people who took the luggage off the trains, and was sort of part of a deception of, of people coming off those trains. They were to be marched to their death, but he had to be, act like everything was normal. And he saw the deception. He saw the true numbers of people coming through every day, and he knew the number of people who were being killed every day because of the position that he was in. And that just sort of made him angrier and angrier and angrier that this terrible thing was happening to him that he was powerless to solve at that particular time. And most people in his situation were so consumed by the horrors of it that they were not able to actually go out and take any form of action and do anything. But he was motivated by something higher than himself, and he was motivated by the fact that he could go out and tell people and let them know what was going on. So anyway, he had a very mathematical, engineering type mind, and he was able to actually record with a fantastic memory all these people that were coming through. He knew numbers, he remembered dates, he remembered train numbers, so that when he got out, he could give people information that they could match to verify that what he was saying was true. Anyway, so he was the first person to compile a report that was seen as credible by the Allies, and saved about 120,000 lives as a result. The interesting thing about him and how it relates to attracting women is that he was in a bad situation, and rather than let that situation consume him through his anger and his fear of death, he said, what's really going on here? And what was really going on, he discovered, was that roughly 70,000 people per month were getting killed. And he sort of took that as fact. Even though he didn't want to accept that, even though that was an incredibly overwhelming number of people for him to witness dying, he looked at, okay, what is happening here, and what am I going to do about it? How am I going to get out of this situation? And even though Auschwitz was a very, very difficult place to get out of, he connected with some people in what was sort of an underground resistance movement within the camp. He got himself a better job, and through those jobs, he actually was able to get into better positions where he could move through the camp freely. He could discover then a place to hide out in until it was right to leave the camp. And anyway, the way this relates to women is that you might be in a difficult situation right now that feels really powerless to you. There might be lots of things that have happened to you that are very, very overwhelming. But just like Verba, if you can accept reality, if you can accept the facts that are going on in your life right now, then you're in a position of power to change them. And there might be a lot of complex steps that need to take place. Maybe you need to move yourself into a different places emotionally. Maybe you need to seek out different help. But resources are available to you, and once you make a decision that you are going to change this situation, then everything just will get better. And that's what Verba did. Verba made sure that he was going to get out no matter what. He had a purpose, he had a mission, firstly, that he wasn't going to put his own self as a priority in his life. He was going to put other people as a priority. So he had a powerful and compelling reason to get this done. Now, for you, that reason might be you could think of your future family. If you want to have a family, if you want to have kids, and maybe you're at an age where you've got to find a mate, there could be actual people's lives that are depending on you, just like lives were depending on Verba. Maybe to a smaller scale, but nevertheless, you succeeding in this could actually create a human life that otherwise wouldn't have been created. So the most important thing to recognize is you have to accept reality, regardless of how hard it is. Sometimes there are things people don't want to accept. They don't want to accept that they as the man have to go approach, But if you resist it and resist it and resist it, Just like those people in the concentration camps, and I know lots of them could never have done anything about their situations, and I'm not at all saying that all of them could have escaped, but I do wonder how many people might have been able to escape had they been able to accept the reality of the situation. And of course, we don't know what we would have done if we were there, but I know that we can all accept the reality of our situations living in a first world country like Australia or America or wherever you happen to be, and accepting that we've got to go out there and attract a relationship for ourselves. We've got to go out there and hopefully create a family as well. So I just wanted to say that, remember to accept reality. It helps, and I think I'm going to do a part 2 of this because I think this is an important concept. So yeah, see you soon in part 2.